Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
All right, so the Flyers pick up a 4-3 win and their first win in the shootout all season, and scored actually their first goal in the shootout all year. Is another 1 for 19 in shootout attempts. The only goal in the shootout came from Kevin Hayes, and he's the only one who scored a shootout goal this season for the Flyers, and they end up picking up a win, 4-3. And I thought there were some pretty good things in this game tonight. I thought Kevin Hayes had a really strong game. And Tippett looked really good. Scored his first goal as a Flyer as well. Martin Jones was very good in this game. If I'm gonna it's one of the things that I hate talking about this all the time, but like I've mentioned a lot how Frost needs to continuously be with guys that are going to help him and help him play. And after a game like that, and somebody mentioned this to me as well, like after a game like that, it's frustrating when you see a game that he had last night, and I posted that whole thread on Twitter of all the clips that I found of just different things that were, I thought he had a really flashy game, and he gets diminished a line, and is now playing with Noah Cates and Hayden Hodgson, and it's nothing against those two guys, but it's like Frost was already playing well with JVR and Tippett, and you moved them. Like, it's confusing. So Tippett goes up with Hayes. I thought they had some really good chemistry, instant chemistry together. Tippett, I mean, it felt like the Flyers were fast tonight. That was one thing I noticed too. They were a fast team. Through the neutral zone, the offensive zone, like Tippett looked really good. Just the way he's been skating. I mean, I thought he had a good game last night against the Leafs. The way he was skating in that game, and then even tonight he got himself 2 breakaways. Didn't end up scoring on them, but still. I thought Provorov had a pretty nice game. I think there's been instances with Attard that I've liked, and there's ones that's he's still obviously gonna have to figure things out. It's only his second game in the NHL, and I'm not picking on him or nitpicking anything. It's just the one thing I noticed with him that he's gonna have to get better at, and he probably most likely will, is just the way that he back checks and the forwards come at him. He kind of sticks with one guy. And if you go back and you watch the Nylander pass last night on the goal from Tavares, that made it 6-3. It's very similar because Nylander did a great job of dragging Attard with him, and that's one thing that you don't want to do as a defenseman is collide with the other forward, because if it opens up, you have the trailer, finds Tavares and scores. It happened in this game as well. It wasn't there's a reason I'm saying it again. So obviously there's things to work on, and it's not like that, and again, it's nothing to nitpick against Attard. I thought he had a pretty solid game again overall, but in this game, the Flyers really for the first 40 minutes didn't have that much offensive zone time. They had looks, they had chances. They didn't really have any sustained pressure or anything, where it felt like last night in the first 40 minutes, they were kind of the better team. They had more shots. Flyers would actually get 2 goals in 50 seconds apart, one from Cam York off a clean win by Nate Thompson, and Tippett would score to make it 2-0 there. It was a good save by Jones before that. Then the pass from Tippett, he was trying to get that to Hayes, but it came right back to him. Quick shot, beats just Starkin low. So Flyers go up 2-0. I thought Jones had a pretty good first period, goes into the second. Flyers didn't really have much offensively. They had a handful of, chances, and then Tippett gets his breakaway, his first breakaway, I should say. I think he's really reading the play well. It seems like he's a step ahead of where the puck is going to be, and you saw it on that first breakaway, you saw it on the second breakaway, so he gets that one. I thought the Flyers then after that had a couple good plays. They're more involved offensively in the offensive zone. Rangers will get a power play. I thought Jones had a couple good saves there. Nothing really crazy from the Rangers overall. Tippett has a breakaway again. Better move. The first time he tried to go low 5-hole. This time he ended up trying to fake and go forehand low glove. It was a nice move, but again, good save by Shesterkin. Then the Rangers will get another power play. Hodgson late in the period. And I thought Jones had a handful of good saves there, and the Flyers would end up being up 2-0 going into the third. And if there was one thing that I at least wanted to see going into this was an early goal, and they get that 3-0. Farabee scores, sweet pass by Lindblom, great play, great patience from Lindblom. That's one thing Lindblom's so good at is finding guys through the seam and being able to understand that you have a little bit more time and you can find that guy, and he finds Sanheim. And Sanheim's done it, honestly, probably since Yo has been up as interim head coach, as he just joined the rush, and Provorov was all over it. I actually thought Provorov had a really solid game overall defensively tonight. Had a handful of good plays, just won a good amount of puck battles, and I felt like overall he's definitely been building on what he's been kind of brewing lately, like the way he's been playing. I think he's been able to build off that as the games have gone on. So the Flyers will get a goal, and then Trouba would score right after 3-1. No surprise, that seems like that happens every other game now. Is that when the Flyers score, there's at least a goal from the other team that comes right after. So again, no surprise. Flyers get a power play. Didn't really get much going there. A couple chances. Again, stationary target kind of thing that I was talking about last night. Very similar. Another power play again. Kopp has a shorthanded breakaway. Then the Rangers have a 2-on-1. Didn't really seem like power play at all for the Flyers. Then the Rangers have their chances. And then 2 goals in 12 seconds. One from Zibanejad and then one from Kopp. And 3-3 game. Overtime. What happened if the Flyers survived a power play late on Hodgson's second penalty of the game on a tripping call. And it was a good job by the penalty kill to kill that one off. Overtime, couple chances for both teams. Flyers had a handful of looks, and then we go to the shootout. And as I said, Hayes scores. Jones with the save on Hedl to end it, and the Flyers would end up winning this one 4-3 in a shootout. So overall, if there's one thing that I think that could come out of this game is maybe I'm not sure if they'll keep that Hayes and Tippett line together. Obviously there was a little bit of a mix-up with the lines, as I said, and I want to talk about this again because obviously no McEwen in this game. He got banged up in that fight, and no Sealer as well. He got injured. So, again, defense in this one was caught with a tar, and I thought they had a pretty solid game overall. But for next game, I would honestly like to go back to that Frost with Tippett and JVR line. I think that's fine. I think Frost has been able to really well-round his game. I know they talked about before trying to mix in everything offensively and defensively and put it into one. I think he's been doing that. And I don't necessarily think the option was to just give him Hodgson and Cates right away. I thought Tippett had a pretty solid game last night. I thought Frost was great. I really think they should go back to that against Columbus. You have 2 games coming up against Columbus in the home and home. So we'll see what happens. That's just something that I would like to see. I thought Nate Thompson, I thought he played good last night in his first game back. I thought he had another quietly solid game again. I think Thompson's one of them guys that just, I like Thompson probably more than other people. Just because he's one of the guys, you know what you're going to get out of him. He doesn't really kind of give you any crap. Maybe there was times where he was overplayed by AV. I know that was kind of talked about for a while. That's even going back to the bubble, but I thought he had another really solid game. And overall, the Flyers pick up a 4-3 win. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, SeatGeek, Garrett Group Construction, and the merchandise link is in the description as always. And I'll talk to you all again soon.